Check.
That's the only song I know.
Sound check.
Check 1, 2, 3. Baby boy is dancing.
Baby boy is rattled.
Literally rattling.
Look at him go. Look at him dance. I'm gonna make him a marionette puppet.
That's horrifying.
I'll just make him walk into your room like, meh.
That's great. And
Baby
then
boy says hi.
Then the BuzzFeed Unsolved theme song will just start playing. Oh my god, let's make a video like that.
Yes.
It's just this.
This is my skeleton, by the way. Not my skeleton, but
Audrey named her bones Baby Boy.
this my Halloween decoration that is all year round decoration for me.
I don't know why you're explaining it to the sound check.
Oh, that's true. This is the sound check. I usually use the sound check anyway.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of times.
I wouldn't know. I've never listened to an episode of this podcast.
Anyway. Hi, welcome to TBHonest podcast. Might as well just start it out. I'll just keep talking.
I'm gonna try to find a spooky rhythm.
Yeah.
But I don't think there are any.
So, for this podcast, I know we did a spooky podcast like three podcasts. I think it was three podcasts ago. But we're gonna do another one, kind of. Except instead of reading dumb stories, we're gonna talk about like actual scary stuff. Or it's not really scary, but like haunted things. Because we've both been watching BuzzFeed Unsolved a lot. So we're in the mood for that. Which is like the only good thing BuzzFeed has ever done, I think. In my opinion. So before we get to the spooky stuff, what's going on with you? Update on your life. You're munching on chips.
Put a huge mouthful of chips in my mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you asked me that. That's pretty much all that's going on.
Okay. Good.
Starting summer school tomorrow.
Same.
Geology and algebra. I'm not happy.
Same.
I'm a little scared.
What about
I will be courageous. Because courage is fear under pressure. Ernest Hemingway.
Okay. Well,
felt like that was a good time to throw in a Hemingway quote.
Yeah, it could be. You could do that at any time, though. What about Neighbor Boy? Is he canceled yet?
No, because I saw him shirtless.
Oh, yeah, that happened. He's thriving.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Neighbor Boy still stares at me when he sees me. It's still very weird. There's some tension there for sure, but I don't really see it happening, so.
Look at the... Anyway, I really want a lizard right now. If anybody has, like old lizard, like a tank or something that I could buy
I thought you were just
from
gonna
them.
say, if anyone has an
old lizard, I'm in the market for one. I don't want a young one. I want, like, an old lizard. If anyone has any old pet supplies that they're not using, I'll buy it from you maybe. But my mom probably will be like, you can't get a lizard, so we'll see how that goes.
Probably.
I don't know. There's nothing else I want to talk about in my life. Start of your party. Start of your party. Fast food edition. A lot of these are going to be hardy for me because I like fast food a lot. Sonic, number one is Sonic.
I don't like their food. 50-cent corn dog day gets me pretty pumped.
Yeah.
But that's about it. But they have good drinks. I know I really want to go to Sonic instead of recording this podcast.
What about, well, so do you Snarty or Hardy on it?
Hardy.
For the drinks?
It's worth it.
What about...
Plus, it makes me feel like I'm at, like, an old drive-in diner. And
yeah.
It's funky. Fresh.
What about, McDonald's? McDonald's is like...
It's so bad.
It's so bad. But I will eat so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every week.
It's getting to where I can't eat their food, really, anymore.
Uh-huh.
Unless it's the breakfast menu. Because I've had so much of it in college that it's just disgusting now.
Yeah. I feel like McDonald's is the new, like, or Taco Bell. You know how there was, like, adults are always like, oh, I ate so much ramen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I've eaten so much Taco Bell or so much McDonald's.
Don't talk bad about Taco Bell around me.
I will.
Okay. McDonald's does, however, have really good iced coffee. So
That is true.
I get that. It's like 40 ounces. And it's cheap as heck. And it gets me lit as heck.
I hard on McDonald's hardcore, but I also...
I snart on McDonald's.
I regret it. Every time. But, you know.
I'm gonna actually have to say snart.
Really?
Snarty. Yeah, because it's gross. And the only thing that I actually enjoy is iced coffee. And I like that everywhere because, you know.
Girl's gotta have her ice. What about Wendy's?
I haven't been to Wendy's in like 10 years.
Haven't been in a long time either.
So I have no idea.
I hate Wendy's.
I don't think I've ever gotten food.
I don't like Wendy's.
I've gotten a Frosty like once. And that's it.
Snart on Wendy's. Burger King.
Snart on that.
Burger King? Like, the way people are disgusted with McDonald's, that's how I am with Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
I've eaten at Burger King maybe 2 times in the 20 years I've been alive.
I haven't had Burger King in 10 years. I know that. I think it's gross.
I think it tastes like actual cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, McDonald's, it's gross, but at least it, like, tastes like something. I don't know what sometimes, but it has, you know.
I know.
Okay, so I want you to debate Taco Bell and Taco Bueno instead of saying Snarty or Hardy. Because I know that you eat both.
I do. Okay.
I'm gonna say right now I'm biased for Taco Bueno because I never got Taco Bell growing up. So you can do...
I never got either growing up because we didn't eat fast food. I think the thing I like about Taco Bueno is their tortillas. If you get a burrito from Taco Bueno, the tortilla is actually kind of good and it actually kind of tastes like a tortilla.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I really like. Their sweet tea sucks.
I've never even had their sweet
I'll
tea.
say that. Tacos, kind of disappointing. Also, the thing I don't like about Taco Bueno is that they don't have hot sauce. They have salsa, which I don't want.
They're 2 different things.
On a burrito, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not hot. Even if you get the one that's like Firehouse or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not hot. Same thing goes for Taco Bell. Honestly, I love the hot sauce, but it's not hot at all. And fire sauce is disgusting. I thought it meant fire as in like hot, but it just means fire as in like it tastes burnt. So
You don't want some burnt sauce?
no, I really don't. But what I like about Taco Bell is that it's cheap.
Taco Bell
Hot
is
sauce.
cheap. And it's open 24/7.
That's
so
another thing
good.
I like
But
because I
every
pretty
time
much
I get-
only go after midnight.
Every time I get like a taco from Taco Bell, it's like soggy.
Same. Well, I always get soft tacos.
That's true.
So they're not. But if I get a crunchy one,
yeah,
they're soggy. But I don't like crunchy tacos.
You don't like that munch?
No.
That crunch?
No, I really don't. Also, the Dorito taco is the worst thing I've ever had in my life.
It's not great.
It's disgusting. Revolting.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I can't really talk on either because I am a traditionalist at heart when it comes to fast food, especially Mexican fast food. And I pretty much exclusively get bean burritos everywhere I go.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't really tried the
You should
full
try and
potential.
order a bean burrito from McDonald's.
I will. I'll do that.
Can
I'll
I
do
get a
it.
McBean burrito? McBurrito?
A McBean?
Can I get a McBeanarito? That sounds like kind of threatening.
Can I
I'll
get
give you a McBeanarito if you don't shut up.
That wasn't even a word. Hi, can I get 3 beefy cheese McRitos?
Beefy cheese. Disgusting.
Wait, it should be cheesy beef, not beefy cheese.
The cheese itself is a little beefy, in my opinion.
But it's just cheese burrito. It's a quesadilla, but it's been rolled up.
With a sprinkle of beef.
No, it's just like the oil that the beef.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's the grease from after they cook their hamburgers.
They just fry up the quesadilla in the beef grease.
It's not a quesadilla, it's a McRito.
Oh. Are there any beans on it or just cheese?
A McDia.
If McDonald's steals these ideas, I'm gonna be very upset if we don't get money. Anyway, that rounds up Snarty or Hardy. Welcome. Let me get my baby.
I don't like it.
Can you just support me in my motherhood? Thank
No.
you. I'm just trying to take care of my son here. So now we're going to talk about some haunted places in Fayetteville slash Northwest Arkansas. Number 1, the Gurdon Ghost Light. And I'm posing for a picture with my child.
You just look super rattled.
I look like scared. I think, okay, so my mom and her siblings have gone to this place, and I think they used to go there when they were teenagers. Mm-hmm. Also, putting this out there, Rachel and I want to go on haunted adventures and film it, I guess, and then we'll post it, maybe.
We want to be Ryan and Shane from BuzzFeed.
We want to be them, and we are them, basically.
Honestly.
So,
please
support us by giving us $5 for our gas money, and then we can go to these places and post videos of it. So, this is in Clark County, Arkansas, in Gurdon, which is a very, very small town. The most popular Halloween attraction in Clark County, which is a very nothing happens there, so it's probably the only Halloween attraction. Mysterious phenomena that has been appearing here for the last generations. Over the last several decades, hundreds of witnesses have observed the light. It has been on local television stations and has been photographed by students at nearby Henderson State University. There is no doubt that the light exists, although what is legends are behind its existence, or what it is remains to be seen. I guess that sentence did not make sense. So Gurdon is south of Little Rock and is very small. Only about 2,000 people live there. It is said that many local people have seen this light more than 100 times in their life, and while it is an accepted fact of this place, those same people still have no idea just how to explain why the light exists. There is a legend which will come as no surprise to ghost light buffs. I didn't even know those people existed. That tells of a railroad worker who was working along a stretch of the tracks outside of town. He accidentally fell into the path of an oncoming train and his head was severed from his body.
Neat.
Yikes.
I love Hereditary.
Of course, the ghost of this railroad worker is said to walk the tracks at night, and the ghost light is from his lantern as he searches for his missing head. The only thing that makes this story a little different from other tales is the Phantom Brakeman. From other tales of the Phantom Brakeman, is that a real-life murder did take place here and may explain why the light was seen a short time later. Ooh!
Nifty!
This light cannot be seen from the highway, so if you have plans to visit, be prepared to do some hiking. Oh, I thought it was like footsteps.
Same.
There's fireworks outside. It is July 1st.
I've been watching too many,
Yeah, I'm like,
spooky
any noise I hear, I'm like, it was a ghost.
Demon!
You must leave your car at the road and walk approximately 2.5 miles to reach the place. Dang, that's pretty far.
That would take like 30 minutes at least.
You will pass by 2 trestles before it is seen, and the spot is marked by a slight incline in the tracks, and then a long hill. According to Mark Evans, who provided this information to the website I'm reading this off of, Ghost of the Prairie, he has seen the light on several occasions. It is white and blue and sometimes orange in color, and has a very distinct border, almost as if it is shining through a plastic lens. It always sways back and forth and stays in motion, probably explaining why the legend of the railroad lantern was started. The light is frequently seen on the darkest nights and best when it is cloudy and overcast. The light never reflects off the tracks, and because of its remote location, cannot be a reflection from passing headlights or anything else that is easily explainable. It's located... Oh wait, that's about the town. So
Well, that sounds like a cop-out.
what, that they're
Then
like...
just say, it can't be explained by anything that would be easily explainable. Like
so don't
what?
try and figure it out. I want to say maybe it has something to do with the moon, but then it said something about the cloudy and overcast, and the fact that it like swings.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty weird. I kind of wish I would like ask my mom and see if she's actually seen it, because I know that they've talked about going there before, but I don't know if they've actually been there. The next thing is Tilly Willy Bridge. And this is located, let's see, I don't know, somewhere not near, I know it's like not, it's on the White River somewhere, and I don't even think it exists anymore. But I found it on Haunted Fayetteville site thing. There's like videos of this on YouTube where people have gone there. Let me pull this up. Okay. So the bridge was demolished in 2010 or 2011. Visitors have continued to have strange encounters near the White River on South Wilson Hollow Road. Legend has it that in the 1970s, a woman drove off the bridge along with her children, killing everyone. A phantom car has been seen driving across the bridge, and her apparition has been spotted in a white dress, twirling in a nearby field. Clearly, someone is reliving the 70s. That's what the website says. Stop trying to be funny, Fayetteville. It says, park as close as possible to the old bridge, turn off your lights, and let the windows fog up. Handprints might appear on your windows. So it's basically like children's handprints will like appear on your window. And that's that maybe I'll go there. A lot of these things that I've read of like haunted places in Fayetteville seem like they could be very easily explained by like one person has been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe one person has been like goes there and messes with people and like puts handprints on the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the last one, the Garden Ghost Light, what if some guy is actually out there with a lantern?
I'd do it.
But then it said that the light doesn't reflect on the railroad tracks, so it's like the cop-out thing where they're like, but it can't be explained. I'm like, if it's a light, it's gonna reflect.
Yeah.
Unless, like, I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty dumb. And then the last thing is from a book that Rachel has called Ozark Tales and Superstitions. Let's see. The Legend of... That's the
Ozark
wrong
Tales and
page.
Superstitions can be checked out at your local public library.
Yeah. Okay.
Just plug in my place of work.
You
know.
should.
It's a cool book.
Everyone should go to the library. It is a pretty nifty book. It has ghost stories, and then it has Indian, Native American folklore, and then it has, like, other just stuff about, like, outlaws, and it's
And then it
pretty
has,
cool.
like, a whole list of, like, little superstitions.
Yeah.
Things like if you, like, spill salt, you throw it over your shoulder. It's stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a whole thing in the back that's cures and remedies.
Mm-hmm. It's nifty.
Yeah.
Check out your local public library and I'll give you a tour.
Neato. Okay, so this one is called The Fairview Ghost, and this is actually in Fayetteville, but I don't know how far away it is from us. We often assume that any folklore is an old story. This is not necessarily true, as the following tale illustrates.
Read it in the voice that Ryan does on BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Fairview Cemetery is located on State Highway 45 near the east side of Fayetteville,
That's
Arkansas.
not it.
That's my version of it.
Oh.
I don't have a man voice. A few years ago, several drivers reported
Your
seeing
voice
a
is going
ghost
up
running
too much. It
through
has to go down.
the cemetery as they drove by late at night. Have you noticed it? Remember that meme that was like Burger King foot lettuce? Did you ever hear that? It's just a guy that makes like top 5 videos on YouTube, and he does like creepy stuff or like gross things, and he has a weird voice, and he sounds. I'll show it to you after we record. Anyway, a few years ago, several drivers reported seeing a ghost running through the cemetery as they drove by late at night. This is another thing that could just be some guy that runs through the cemetery. Like, what about it? Are they like, that's a ghost for sure? Like, this is a full... Like, is it transparent? Like, I need... Anyway.
And even then, like, even if they think it's transparent, it's very easy to make yourself look like a ghost.
Yeah, if you're running.
Night. If it's night, if you're wearing the right kind of clothing,
yeah.
If you're running fast, if there's a good breeze, that kind of adds to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do.
We should pretend to be ghosts.
We should.
The cemetery over.
That's what we do. Instead of investigating ghosts,
we are the
pretend
ghosts.
to be ghosts. Let's become like legit haunters and get it bad enough to where Ryan and Shane come and check it out.
And we're like, it was a
and we can just jump out and be like, we're huge
Hi, we're
fans.
professional ghost hunters. Thanks.
Ghost hunters. Instead of ghost hunters.
These reports continued for almost a year, and most of Fayetteville citizens were aware of them. I was not aware of this, but this book was also published probably in like the 80s. Anyway. One night, a teenage boy was driving his girlfriend home when his car had a blowout as he passed the cemetery. Both young people were aware of the ghost stories and were, as might be expected, uneasy about having to stop at the place. The girl stayed in the car while the young man hurriedly began changing the tire.
And then Mandor hand-hooked car
I
door.
was hoping you would say that. Just as he was finishing, the girl screamed that she saw the ghost. The boy gathered his tools quickly and looked towards the cemetery. He noticed a white figure slowly walking towards the car from one of the monuments. See, that makes it seem a little more like it's an actual ghost. If it's like all white or like glowing, I don't know.
Well, that would be like, just get like a bunch of glow-in-the-dark stuff and put it all over you.
Just be neon?
No, because like glow-in-the-dark makeup. Have you ever seen it?
Yes, it's like white.
It doesn't really make you glow in the dark.
It's like those sticker stars people put on the ceilings of their rooms.
It's not like neon glow in the dark. It's like very, very faint. Yeah. So if you covered your body in that, and then wore some flowy white clothing, like all the dresses that are at Forever 21 right now,
Yes.
you'd be a ghosty girl. Let's do this.
Ghosty girls.
My God.
He, throwing the tools into the trunk, the boy jumped behind the steering wheel and tried to race away, but a moment before the car started, both teenagers heard the back door of the car open. Someone or something got in and closed the door. I'm not going there.
I hate that. Oh my God, let's go.
I just got
very
scared.
Chills. Okay, we gotta go. Go.
I do not want to go
I'm gonna invite
there.
him into the car.
No.
I'm gonna roll my windows down.
We're not.
And I'm gonna yell.
No. Needless to say, the couple's fear had by this time turned into panic, and neither was able to look behind them.
Just look.
The boy floored the accelerator and raced towards Fayetteville at top speed. I would get out of the car, I think. If the thing got in the car, I would be like, well, I'm getting out now.
Yeah, I'd get out and then I'd lock it.
Yeah. He pulled into a well-lit service station where he and the girl jumped out of the car, leaving both doors open and the motor running. They ran to the station attendant and exclaimed, "There's a ghost in our back seat." I wouldn't even think it was a ghost at that point. I'd be like, there's a murderer in my back seat. Also,
there done be a hobo back there.
At first, the attendant thought the couple was trying to play some sort of trick on him, or perhaps they were attempting a robbery. Go look in our car. There's a ghost.
Good idea.
But soon, realizing that their fear was genuine, he took a revolver from his desk drawer and slowly approached the car.
Shoot the apparition.
He was going to shoot the ghost. Jerking the door open with pistol in hand, he was shocked to find an old white-haired woman wrapped in a bedsheet, lying on the seat, shivering from the cold night air.
Oh, that's right. Because I've read this one.
The city police were called in, and the old lady was taken to a hospital to spend the night. The next day, her identity was learned, and the explanation of the Fairview ghost was revealed. What? It seems that the lady was living in her daughter's home near the cemetery. The lady, who was somewhat deranged, began leaving the house at night after her daughter and son-in-law had retired. She went into the cemetery and sat by her husband's grave. Aww. The daughter, afraid her aged mother would become ill from exposure to the night air, began locking the old woman in her room at night. She also removed all of her mother's clothing? That's kind of weird. Why? If she was concerned about the night air, why would she remove all of her clothes? Or the old lady removed her own clothes?
Keep reading.
This arrangement worked for several weeks. I never said
this book was written well. I just thought it was interesting.
But soon the old lady learned that she could get out through the window. Wrapping herself in sheets from the bed, she once more began her nighttime excursions to her husband's grave. Thus, the Fairview ghost was born and a new Ozark tale created. Well, I don't really know what to say about that, because I thought it was going to be an actual ghost. No. Do you still want to go there?
Kind of, yeah.
What if an old lady gets in her car?
What if she's still there?
That reminds me of The Visit. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
The grandma on it was like, had like crazy night walking.
Oh, sick.
And would like run around.
Like Toni Collette.
Worse. She was not possessed. Now we're gonna talk about the Crescent Hotel, America's most haunted hotel. Rachel, you've never been there, right? Have you been there?
I've been there. I've never stayed.
Have you like been inside of it?
Yeah.
But I really want to go there. I've never even like, I think I might have gone there when I was like really little, but I've never been inside of it. I don't remember. I've known people that have stayed there. Alright, you want to hear about the history? Originally, okay, wait, this is interesting. The people that own it now, when they started doing ghost tours, they used to have clairvoyant people do the ghost tours.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Where does this start? Okay. The Crescent Hotel was built in May 1886, and it was built for $294,000. But in our money today, it'd be about $7.5 million. It was a premier hotel in the country at the time. It's located in Eureka Springs, if you didn't know that. When it first started, it was like an exclusive resort and spa for rich people because it was like a really fancy hotel. It still is. In 1908, the Crescent Hotel opened. In 1908, the Crescent Hotel opened as the Crescent College and Conservatory for young women to bring in revenue during the off-season in spring, fall, and winter. So in the summer, it was a hotel, and then through the other time, it was a college for women. But in the Great Depression, tourism to the city completely died, so the hotel closed in 1934. Later, there was this guy named Dr. Norman Baker, who was not a doctor, but like a con man. And in 1937, he purchased the hotel. Baker had a peppered past. He was a vaudeville actor, inventor, self-made millionaire, and started a radio station in his hometown of Muscadine, Iowa. It was from his radio show where Baker attacked the American Medical Association that he gained notoriety. He used the airwaves to promote his newly founded Baker Institute in Muscadine, where he claimed to have a cure for cancer. Despite the fact that all 5 test patients who took the cancer-curing elixir died. In 1931, he was forced off the air by the Federal Radio Commission, and they refused to renew his license, but Baker had already amassed a following of believers. He was charged with practicing medicine without a license and fled to Mexico for a few years. And when he came back is when he came to the Ozarks and purchased the vacant Crescent Hotel, and he transformed it into a fake cancer hospital. And people flocked to him hoping for a cure, but most met with their death. Accounts vary, but potentially hundreds of people died in the hospital during the time, and he made millions off of it. After patients passed away, Baker wrote letters home to their families, pretending they were still alive, pretending that the hospital was like a paradise. And during the ghost tour that they have today, and I think just like the regular hotel tour, guests can visit the basement, which served as the morgue during the Baker days. The original autopsy table is still in the morgue. At one point, there were body parts kept in formaldehyde in jars in this room. The basement is where ghost hunters captured the figure on the thermal camera, and that's Ghost Hunters, the Travel Channel show. Eventually, the hospital was shut down, and Baker was arrested for mail fraud. Of all the things, arrested for mail fraud.
It's probably the closest thing they could, prove.
Yeah. He served a few years in prison from 1941 to 1945, and then lived comfortably until his death from cancer. Some claim to have seen Baker's spirit in the hotel. He was known to wear a lavender tie. Fun fact, he kind of had a fetish for purple. So, he had almost all the rooms painted purple. You're freaking me out with that, because this is, a very anticlimactic statement that he just likes purple.
He was really into purple.
He really liked purple. And that's the end of the story. He did really like
fetish purple. For purple.
Yep.
Go check out the Crescent Hotel.
I think he had a full purple suit too at one point, and then I think his room had a lot of purple, and he lived in the top of the hotel, and his area was extravagant, that's the presidential suite now. And he also had a purple car too, I think. Room 3500 has become known for the lady in the Victorian nightgown, who is believed to be one of his cancer patients. This room is one of the hotel's luxury suites, which was once the servants' quarters and then became a hospice area for the most critically ill during the Baker period. There's a picture of the room. It's one of those like old hotels where like the bathtub and like the bed are in the same area of your.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah. And there's carpet too, like around the bathtub, which I think is dumb. And the guy who owns the hotels now said they couldn't prove or disprove the paranormal activity, but tours attract both believers and non-believers. I think that's all I have. Oh, and they also have a pizzeria in there. And they also have 2 cats. Okay, so here's some specific ghost stories from the Crescent Hotel. The most often cited apparition is that of red-haired Irish stoneman who the staff dubbed as Michael. Allegedly, Michael was one of the original masons who worked on the building of the hotel in 1885. However, while working on the roof, he lost his balance and fell to the second floor area and was killed. This area now houses room 218 of the hotel, and it is said to be the most haunted guest room. Michael is often heard pounding loudly on the walls. Others have witnessed hands coming out of the bathroom mirror and heard cries of what sounded like a man falling in the ceiling. Yet other guests have been shaken during the night, and on one occasion, a man ran screaming from the room, professing he had seen blood splattered all over the walls.
Nifty.
The lingering spirit of a nurse dressed in all white is often seen pushing a gurney on the 3rd floor, only spotted after 11 p.m., the time which they used to move the deceased out of the cancer hospital. The ghostly spirit vanishes when she reaches the end of the hallway. Others who have not seen the apparition have reported the sounds of squeaks and rattles that sound like a gurney rolling down the hallway, which could also be a maid's cart. Something about the morgue again. Oh, there's also a walk-in freezer in the morgue in the downstairs. There's a laundry area on the 3rd floor where a hotel maintenance man once witnessed all of the washers and dryers inexplicably turn on by themselves in the middle of the night. The Crescent's dining room is another place in the hotel that is said to contain frequent paranormal activities. Here, other Victorian-dressed apparitions have often been encountered. Many have seen groups of 1890s dancers in full dress attire whirling around the room in the wee hours of the morning. Others tell of a 19th century gentleman who has been sitting at a table near the windows. When approached, she says, "I saw the most beautiful woman here last night, and I'm waiting for her to return."
Aww.
That's kind of sad. The apparition of greedy Dr. Baker himself has also been seen in the old recreation room in the basement and at the foot of the 1st floor stairway, dressed in his purple shirt and white linen suit and looking somewhat confused. The apparition appears identical to the old photographs of the infamous quack. Another remnant of the old hospital days is a ghostly figure who calls herself Theodora, most often seen by housekeepers in room 419. Theodora courteously introduces herself as a cancer patient before quickly vanishing. She goes, "Hi, I'm Theodora. I'm a cancer patient. Bye." One other often reported spirit is that of a young female who attended the Crescent College in the Conservatory for Young Women. According to the tale, the young girl either jumped from or was pushed from a balcony to her death. Today, guests report hearing her screams as she falls. And then let me read this thing. So, where'd it go? There it is. This one person wrote, "My fiance and I were there for a weekend and actually stayed in 419. We had no experiences in the room. However, on the 9:30 p.m. ghost tour, it was a different story. We were on the tour and had just made it down to the 2nd floor, and we were walking up to Michael's room. As the tour guide had just started telling his story, I was the last to meet to party. So I leaned up against the wall close to the door, bless you. And as soon as I leaned my shoulder on the wall, I heard Mike said out loud. It was said one time and in a male's voice. I asked my fiance if she had heard anything or said anything as she was close to me. She had neither heard or said anything. No one else in the group knew who I was or my name, so they would have no reason to call me out. I got goosebumps and started sweating and just felt weird right after it happened. We were talking about it coming home, and the same feelings hit all over again. And that guy's name was Mike, obviously. Anyway. Oh, Halloween seance?
That's what I want to go to.
No. I'm not doing that.
I really want to do that.
$65 per person.
That's
You could go
not
to Silver Dollar City with that.
I would pay
Zero
$65
one.
for tickets.
I do not want to go there. I'll go there and be the most cynical person there.
Will you?
Let's see. Yeah,
I feel like
I'm not gonna
you'd be
believe any of it.
a little shooketh.
Not in a seance, I don't believe it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe
So
you
why
can.
won't you do them?
I just don't want to. Oh, there's a picture on here, which is going to be pointless to talk about on a podcast. But this lady, and she was also in 419.
Mm-hmm.
Her camera kept going off and taking pictures just randomly until the battery drained. And there's a photo that's on here that's like a portrait of Theodora, that cancer patient. And look, it's like, you know, a skull. It's like half a skull over her face. Very strange. But it could also just be like a weird lighting thing. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the Crescent Hotel. Hello. Spooky. Oh. Are you just going to keep playing?
It's time for the weekly rec.
Oh, changing the note. My weekly recommendation this week, voice crack there, is Room, which I think I might watch later tonight because that's a very good movie. And where to go? Oh, The Princess Bride. I think I might have already recommended that, but
Probably, but who cares?
who even keeps track? Not me. And then a show. It's obviously BuzzFeed Unsolved. And yeah, I'm just gonna make that it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
My recommendation for the week is the song October by Broken Bells. It's a bop and a half. Check it out. It's not that much of a bop. It's like
half a bop. I don't know.
It's
I've
like
never
a
heard
mood. It's a vibe, but I don't know if it's a bop.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast. Follow us at Audrey McMahon Out Loud Artist at TBHonest Pod. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know if you liked it or not, or don't let us know if you didn't like it, but let us know if you liked it. Bless up and bless out.